Hello and welcome back to Farmstead TV. Today is the day before Christmas. I got the Christmas tree ready. But before that, perhaps we should watch some old school magic together. Today we are in the top 4. I'm playing against Torbjörn. Torbjörn did go 10-0 in the Swiss. So it's a pretty formidable opponent here. But he did only win 2-1 in the top 8 in the quarterfinal. So that gives me a little hope. At least he can bleed. So let's see if I can take this down. So his deck, you've seen it before on my channel. I think I called it the Suchi instead of the deck because it has a lot of the same cards. He doesn't have the Game Day Tome. Instead he has 4 Suchi. He also has 2 copy artifacts. Those are great with the Suchi. And a bunch of restricted cards. So a pretty awesome deck. His sideboard, he has 2 Divine Offering. That would be good against me. He has a Hurdles Recall. I imagine that's going in as well. Perhaps a Wrath of God, maybe. And my deck, I play this blue robot deck with a Triskelion, Suchi and copy artifact. So I talked about this deck before, so I won't bore you with saying all that again. So if you want a bit longer deck tech on this, you can look up one of my earlier videos where I talk about it some. So alright, let's get down to the action. Game number 1. You have a Torbjörn to the left and me to the right. I'm mulliganing to 6 and Torbjörn is on the play. He starts out with an Underground Sea and casts Ancestral Recall in my upkeep, so he doesn't have to discard. I remember I wasn't that happy with my 6 card hand, but there was some lands and some spells, so I had to keep it. Oh, and he goes hard and playing turn 2 Suchi. So that's not good. So I'm down to 16 and he plays a copy artifact. Oh boy. I can see a mana drain. Nevral's Disc in my hand, and I think there's a Triskelion, so a pretty slow hand. And he attacks for 8, puts me down to 8. Yeah, and I draw a Hercules Recall. So now I at least can live for another turn. He has a Lightning Bolt, Abyss. He bolts me down to 5 life. He takes a damage from the Mana Vault. And he attacks for 8. So I cast an Hurdles Recall. So that looks cool, but it's just like a fog. He can just play them out again. Yeah. So I'm pretty dead here. I think I played the disc for 2 parts. I was a bit frustrated with getting run over, and second, maybe he would get some ideas for sideboard. That I was playing a troll or what's the deck called? The troll disco. or something like that. So game 2 I'm on the play and he has a library, so that's not good. Yeah, so at least I have a demonic tutor, so I can find my strip mine. He plays a green mox, draws with the library, and a soul ring. And this turn also not an exciting start for me. I can see I have a blue card. I wonder if I'm keeping up a mana drain. Comes to Suchi. Okay, I'm just drawing. Oh, and here comes a Neverald's Disc. That's good. He attacks for 4 with a Suchi. Pass the turn. So I use my green mox to activate the disc. And unfortunately, I don't have a Hercules recall to return them to my hand. Oh, now I can start attacking. And he casts a Sword of Plowshare on my factory. But I can see I have a Triskelion and a copy artifact in hand. So here I just need to get to 6 mana and copying it. He plays a Chaos Orb and he makes a copy with a copy artifact. So I make a copy of the Chaos Orb and attacks for 2. So here I'm not activating my Chaos Orb. I want Torbjörn to use one of his Chaos Orb on my Chaos Orb, and I want him to use the other on my factory or something. So when later in game I can play my Triskelion and try to win that way. So now I just have to draw this game out and make him use all his removal. So as planned, he took out my Chaos Orb. And he plays an Icy Manipulator. See, I have a Hercules Recall in hand, a Triskelion and a City of Brass, I think. So here I'm attacking with the factory just because he's tapped out. Oh, and he has a 3 City of Brass. That's good for me, since trying to win with the factories and creatures. He has Disintegrate and a Sword of Plowshare in hand. So now I have 6 mana. But he has a Chaos Orb left, so I don't want to play my Triskelion yet. He cast a Sword of Plowshare on one of my factories, giving me some lives. I draw a Tavnos Coffin, so that's good. I can try to bait the Chaos Orb with that. Ooh, and he drew a Divine Offering. That gives him life also, so that's not good. He's tapping my City of Brass with his Icy. That's a neat trick. Oh, he takes 3 damage. Cast a Brain Geyser for 4.
There's something I would like to know, Afro.
So I cast a copy artifact, copying my factory. So I attack with the other factory and I pump it with a new one. So he's down to 10 life. He has so much removal in hand, disenchant, the divine offering. At least with a... Okay, so he's finally using his second Chaos Orb. And he hits it. I still have 6 mana. So here comes the Triskelion. Of course, I don't know that his hand is full of removal. But at least if you remove it, I can shoot him for 3. He disenchanted, so I shoot him for 3, puts him down to 7. Ooh. And a Mind Twist for 2, takes out my Hercules Recall and a disc. Ooh, and I top decked a Brain Geyser, that's perfect. This gives me 4 new cards. See, a Library, Triskelion, Soul Ring, and a Sage, I think. So I can play a land for turn, and play a Soul Ring. And he cast a Stone Rain on my factory. Here comes a second Triskelion. And a Sage of Platinum. And if I remember correct, I think I forgot to use the Sage 1 or 2 turns in this match. So he's down to 4 life now. And he passed the turn. Ooh, that's good. He uses his Disintegrate on my Sage. So now he has only 1 Divine Offering left. Ooh, and that's another good top deck. A third Triskelion. So now I can put him down to 1. Yeah. He taps it down with the Icy. Ooh, the third Triskelion. Wow. Yep. So it's 1-1. Game number 3. He's on the play, starts out with a Factory and a Mana Vault. And I look at my hand. I have Ancestor's Recall, Mind Twist, I think there's a Lotus. Oh yeah, so it's my turn to have a broken start here. So I takes out a Sword to Plowshare, a Time Walk, and a Factory. And I still have that Ancestral Recall in hand. So at this point I'm feeling very confident. He's down 3 cards and I can get up 3 cards now with the Ancestral Recall. So at this point I'm start thinking about the final. So he attacks for 2, puts me down to 16. as you can see, there is a balance, a mind twist, and he so this was a surprise for me, I remember. So he's going to cast balance here. So I have a full grip, and I lose my creature. So I need to, I think I have 6 cards in hand. So I need to get rid of 4 of them, and I lose my Suchi. Oh, that's a fantastic comeback from Torbjörn here. I really thought I have it, but balance, pretty good magic card. So I'm making a copy of my factory. He plays a Mox Sapphire and attacks for 4. Puts me down to 8. Cast a Suchi. Attacks back for 2. Yeah. So I'm at 8 and he's at 16. So he makes a copy of my Suchi with his copy artifact. So now our board state is pretty even. We both have a Suchi and 2 factories. I play a Sage of Latnam. He casts a disenchant on my Suchi. A red blast in hand, but he doesn't have red mana, and a mind twist, and he doesn't have black mana. It's a good top deck again, Time Twister. I still have 4 lands untapped, and one of them is the Mishra's Workshop. So who's going to draw the better 7 cards hand? Let's, if we can see, okay, Torbjörn did draw a Time Twister, a Suchi, Chaos Orb, copy artifact. Wow, that's a good hand. And I got 2 Moxes. I think there's a Triskelion. Yep, Triskelion. And a Time Walk. Wow. Okay, we both draw a great 7 cards hand. So he responds with casting a disenchant on my Triskelion. So I shoot him for 3, it puts him down to 13, and I take my second turn. And here I forgot to use my Sage, so, so that's stupid. Cast a Chaos Orb and take out his Suchi. Let's see if I can hit. Boom! A fine hit. it's so hard to cast Chaos Orb when you're on feature match, and there was also a bunch of people standing around us and watching, so it was a really intense game. I remember I was shaking a bit. So now Torbjorn finally can have his turn. He plays a Suchi and cast a copy artifact on his Suchi. Boy. Okay, so I have the third factory. So I have 3 factories and a Sage, and he has 2 factories and 2 Suchis. He's down to 11. And now it's get really complicated. Yeah, I cast an Hurtle's Recall. So, but once again, it looks better than it is because he can just play out all of his cards. So it's basically a fog. But it buys me time to cast a disc. See if I can see a disenchant effect in his hand. So he cast a Sword of Plowshare on my Sage. Did I forget to gain a life? I think so. So now it's starting to get a bit difficult with the combat math. So I did do some editing and cutting away some parts where we were thinking for too long. Yeah, it's a long day. He plays a Chaos Orb. So now he attacks with 2 Suchi and a factory. I have 3 factories that I can block with. But so he can pump his factory to become a 3/3, and he can also use his Chaos Orb if I decide to double block any of his creatures. So there's a lot of things to think around. So I decided to double block one of his Suchis. So he pumps his factory, so our factory trades, and I take 4 damage, and the 2 factories killed the Suchi. You can see he has a Wrath of God, a Time Twister, a Lightning Bolt in his hand. He still misses red mana. Ooh, a Bane Geyser for 3. Draw a Triskelion at least. I see a Mana Vault and an Isle. So I want to use the disc. But at this point we're pretty even again. So if I keep the disc, I can prevent him from attacking with his factories. And he has a Hercules recall as well. Yeah, so he can get me to activate my disc. So I use my disc, and in response he uses a Hercules recall. So a counter spell here would be really great. But unfortunately I didn't have any counter spell, so he returned all his artifacts to his hand. I believe we're discussing if the copy artifact of a factory is an artifact or a land. But it is a land. And here comes all the artifacts out again. The Chaos Orb. Cast a copy artifact. I think he is copied a factory. So he takes out my factory. And now we're back from a little break. Right, so I have a Triskelion and a copy artifact in hand. So this is my last hooray. So now I can shoot him for 6. And once again here, I get that, I'm going to the final feeling. But as you can see, he has a Wrath of God in his hand. So I really wasn't expecting that. So he's down to 8. So here he slams the Wrath of God. Oh boy, crushing my dream of going to the final. So I can shoot him for 6, puts him down to 2 life, and I'm on 4, and he can attack me for 3. So I'm on 1 and he's on 2, and I need to top deck something good. Let's do it slow-mo. And it's a strip mine. Wow. So Torbjörn goes on to the final. Alright, so that was my top 4 match. Oh, that Wrath of God at the end really took me by surprise. But yeah, what a great run. Going top 4 isn't that bad. I remember we had a 3-hour drive to get back home. It was the middle of the night. I mean, the rain was pouring down, so it was at least my wife was happy that I didn't go to the final, and we had to delay our drive 2 more hours. So yeah, there's 2 videos left. Both of them were filmed by Ole Rustad. So next week we're going to watch the other top 4 match, and after that it's the final. So Merry Christmas from Farmstead TV. Alright, have a good one. Bye bye.